I got one more little story here. We'll move on. This is just something a little weird, but I got to bring it up because we like weird things with strange people. Here we go. New story. Murder suspect claims victim summoned Bigfoot to kill him.
That's good news. This is obligatory. I saw this one going around. I was like, yeah, this has to happen.
Clown Baby sent this to me, and then 5 other people sent it to me. Like, yeah, we have to cover this. Here we go.
The Pontotoc County Sheriff's Department responded to a call just outside of Ada city limits about an alleged murder Saturday afternoon. Deputies arrived at the scene to suspect Larry Sanders admitting to a family member that he had killed his friend Jimmy Knighton. As part of the investigation, the Sheriff's Department was able to uncover a motive.
Appeared to be under the influence of something. And so his statement was that Mr. Knighton had summoned Bigfoot to come in and kill him. And that's why he had to kill Mr. Knighton.
Okay.
Search agencies in the Pontotoc County Sheriff's Department weren't able to locate the victim's body until Sunday afternoon. Now, the Sheriff's Department begins working on proof of the alleged crime.
It always...
Wait a second. They're going to search for proof. Are they not going to look for Bigfoot at the same time? Like, take the man at his word. He did. Like, his opponent did summon Bigfoot to send him as a hitman.
It's easier. You still have to prove all the elements of the crime and what the suspect is telling you. You have to prove that's actually what happened.
As Sanders awaits his trial and charges in the Pontotoc County Jail, Sheriff Christian says the death penalty is the harshest punishment that the prosecution could push for. In Ada, Alex Porter, ABC 10, First News.
I mean, if you're a fairly low-level summoner shifter and you open up a portal to summon Bigfoot, there's no telling what may come through that portal. It may not have been in Bigfoot at all.
A Gorgon, a zombie, a vampire, a werewolf, a chupacabra, a Bigfoot.
It could have been that, but...
That's a busy portal. You opened it, all that stuff came out?
If you're not skilled at summoning and opening up a rift, you could let some things in you don't want, but that just happens. It was just a curious excuse that so Oklahoma man facing murder charges after allegedly killing his friend. Deputies said he claimed the victim, the man he killed, summoned Bigfoot to go after and kill him. So his friend opened a portal, I'm assuming, to summon Bigfoot, at which point in time his friend probably was like, listen, I know this guy. I don't like him too much. Can you go take him out for me? Can you just take care of business for me? And we'll settle up on the way back through the portal. At which point in time, Bigfoot either said no or not, or he turned on his master, and this guy is in the free and clear. The guy who got arrested, he's the fall guy. Bigfoot actually did this.
I don't work for you.
Yeah. You summoned me here. I'm going to kill my master. That's just a really goofy story.
Why is Bigfoot showing up with a silenced pistol?
We gotta keep that shit in the DL. We don't want to cause too much attention.
That's why we can't find him, because he's silent.
He's very stealthy. He's got like +8 stealth ability. Very high prowess.
I thought the implication was that the other guy died because Bigfoot, like just being physically massive, showed up and just like crushed him or something.
No, this is a preemptive strike. This guy who's in jail right now, he knew his friend was summoning Bigfoot. And he's like, I got to take him out before he tells Bigfoot what to do. I got to take him out before he takes me out. This is a classic preemptive strike. George Bush would have done the same thing.
You're saying George Bush started the Gulf War because Bigfoot
may attack.
Yeah. If you're not with us, you're against us.
Saddam Hussein has Bigfoot. We're going to go get him.
Yeah. I mean, that's very concerning. You get news like that from the CIA, you don't know what to do.
The famous time when Colin Powell went in front of the UN and showed pictures of Bigfoot.
Pictures of Bigfoot. Yeah. This is what Saddam has.
Yeah, the satellite photo clearly shows this blob. We're pretty sure this blob here. This is Bigfoot at the river.
They have a plaster cast. You got to do the plaster cast.
Yeah, he held up the plaster cast.
They show how big their feet are and
look how big his feet are.
We found this in the sand.
Look how thick that is.
Okay, well, that's kind of what I got here, and we'll move over, see what Joe has.
I don't know what I got. What do I got?
what you got. You don't have to have anything. I mean, I got plenty.
I do. I don't have a real presentation. Again, I just have some stuff that I thought
great.
would be, sharing is caring. It's like show and tell.
This is a news show. This show has turned into a news show. As everyone knows, it started off as like a small business podcast. We kind of got sidetracked about 17 years ago, and we're trying to get back on.
The first episode is all about investing.
Yeah, we want to help small businesses to get up and going and give some real advice out there for people, but we just kind of got diverted a little bit with all the UFOs and current events.
What the hell am I listening to?
What did this turn into?
I know. It's very, very bewildering. I mean, there's just so much going on. It's hard not to talk about it. But yeah, a lot of those businesses probably crumbled without our help.
Yeah, we started the podcast before the 2007-2008 financial crisis. So they're all gone now.
Yeah. So I'll say this, because I saw a bunch of stuff and I avoided it like the plague, because when I saw this come by, I was like, all right, it's like when you don't jack off for a while because your husband, spouse, whatever is going to be coming back in town or whatever, and you're like, this has to, we gotta make this a whole thing. So
yeah, of course. You don't want to waste your juice, your precious life seed.
Yeah. Some people out there know what I'm talking about. Anyway,
just throw it everywhere.
Yeah.
You don't want to drop loads when you know you have a receptacle.
Yeah.
Oh, good God.
I'm just saying, this is what people talk about.
Why fire a 22 when you could fire a 12 gauge?
Exactly.
I like the idea of the engraving on the inside of somebody's wedding band saying receptacle.
Oh, yeah, dropping loads.
Okay, so anyway, I'm not trying to have sex with these dudes. Although you guys do look good. I saw this come by and I figured we could watch it together. I have not watched it yet, but I'm definitely like very interested in how this is going to go.
Okay. This is the...
Don't say!
Okay, I'll just play it. Here we go.
So there's been a nuclear attack. Don't ask me how or why, just know that the big one has hit, okay? So what do? There are 3 important steps that I want you to remember. Step 1, get inside fast. Step 2, stay inside. Shut all doors and windows.
What step are we on?
Stay tuned. Follow media for more information. Don't forget to sign up for Notify NYC for official alerts and updates. And don't go outside until officials say it's safe. All right? You've got this.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Most of us are already dead.
So that was the New York City PSA on how to stay alive during a nuclear attack. What do they know, Joe? What do they know?
I mean, that's kind of what I'm wondering. I have no idea. No idea.
Get clean immediately. What's get clean immediately?
You're dirty. Wash your hands. Sanitize. You want to make sure you don't get any COVID on your hands.
COVID on you.
I'm really surprised they didn't say like step 4, get vaccinated in this. But
what didn't somebody say the best way to prevent like the hurricanes or something last year was to make sure you're vaccinated? Something like that. Wasn't that it?
It was one of those lines. The best thing you can do during a hurricane is to get vaccinated. Don't board up your windows. Don't worry about that, people. What you want to do is go down to CVS. And
that's what people are going to run for when when shit hits the fan. People are going to be going down to the pharmacies to steal COVID vaccines. They're not going to be, I mean, we're going to be all eating fucking mayonnaise packets and shit. No, we're going for vaccines.
So just to reiterate these steps, if you happen to hear of a nuclear missile coming your way, this is what you got to do. You got to get inside fast. You got to do that real quick. Okay, get into a building and move away from the windows. So that seems like common sense to me. Maybe some people want to look outside during the blast and become blinded, because that's what will happen. You will be blinded if you stare at the blast. But then again, you got to stay inside. That's point 2. Stay there. Don't go in there and then immediately leave. You want to stay in your dwelling. And shut the doors and windows. Go to the middle of the building as quickly as possible.
All right, wait. If you're going to the middle, can you shove old people and children out of the way?
Yes, like George Costanza. Shove them out of the way to clear the way, to lead the charge.
Lead the way.
Yeah. They said get clean immediately. Remove clothing.
Oh, that's about drugs, though.
Yeah, it said. Oh, yeah. Okay, get sober.
You have to get off a crank immediately.
I understand that. You don't want to be going through withdrawals in the nuclear apocalypse. It says remove clothing and shower with soap or shampoo.
When I'm sitting there with my, my underwear, I mean, it's pretty amazing.
I just want to say, there's a lot of things going on in the middle of this building. Apparently,
there's a party going on.
Bunch of addicts in there trying to get clean. People showering, shoving women out of the way.
And number 3 is you want to stay tuned, people. Follow the media. Sign up for Notify NYC, even though your cell phones will not work and most of your electronics will be fried because of the EMP. You won't have any communications. If you want to use the phone while you have third-degree burns, then let's be glad you have a phone. And it's probably melted to your hand at that point.
You probably want to get your abortion, then go inside.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, you're going to want to immediately do that because you never know. You may have that kid in 9 months.
Actually, I would want. This is the one time where you don't want to abort the baby because then you can eat it when it comes to term.
God.
Oh yeah, food. That's storable food right there.
Oh, Jesus.
It's got a good shelf life if you know what to do.
At least 9 months.
Yeah, 9 month shelf life right there. Cannibalistic, post-apocalyptic, nuclear holocaust, storable food. Now, it's just crazy that they did this. Like any of the modern nuclear warheads, if it lands in New York City, it's just going to toast everything. It's gone. And even like the very large, like the 50 megatons, are going to wipe out the entire island and probably 800 miles circular around, and then the radiation cloud. Like, you're screwed. You're absolutely screwed.
No, here's the idea. Okay, so at least for yourself, get a school desk from the 1950s.
Mm-hmm. It's probably lead lined.
Yeah, and just go under that.
Duck and cover. Just duck.
And if you can go one bigger, get your HOA to get like a massive 50s style school desk and put it over your building. You'll be fine.
Over your house.
Just carry it everywhere you go in NYC. Just say you're taking precautions. Just carry your school desk around with you.
Yeah, wear a school desk.
Yeah,
like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
Yeah,
I don't wear my school desk for me. I wear it for you.
I have to do it.
You're the crazy lunatic on the subway who has his own school desk just in case.
With him. Don't talk to that guy. He carries a desk around. It's
kind of the comments are turned off for whatever reason on this. I can't believe why they turned the comments off here. But it is kind of concerning that they put this out. Like, we all kind of know at this point. I think it's kind of like unspoken that if a nuke missile drops on any city, you're just gone, right? Like,
they're talking about it. Scott Horton just wrote a book about it. I love that guy. I know I mentioned him on the show often, but it's just basically a collection of interviews, and that's exactly what he says. Like, the nuclear bombs of today are not like what we were using, with Japan. There are tactical nukes, but this would mean, like, if one goes off in the Northern Hemisphere, this would be bad for everybody in the Northern Hemisphere and virtually around the world. From what I understand, I bet you Cretchid, being as encyclopedic as he is, probably knows more on this, but it's not good either way.
Did you say more on this?
More on this.
Maybe?
No, more on this. No, there are small...
oh my God, I'm
multiple kiloton warheads that you can use. Yeah, use that. Yeah, put that right in the middle of Columbus and set that off.
I put it right in Columbus, and I'm like 30 to 40 miles north, and I'm on Nuke Map. You can search for nukemap.com.
Yeah,
and
it's like
comes
speed
up.
test.
And Tim Poole did this. He brought this up. This is where I saw that. And
are you dropping the Tsar Bomba on your? That's like the second largest one ever dropped ever set off.
It's 50 megatons. So how about I'll do the 15 megaton? How about that? 15 megaton. It looks like I'll have to deal with a very large fireball radius if it's a surface blast. The air blast is probably going to be even worse.
You're going to have to go to the farmer's market outside of town.
But,
you're going to have to go to the other Denny's, not
can
the
I go
good
to
one.
Kroger's? But if I put this in New York City, it's crazy. Like everything they told people to do, it's pointless because it's just going to wipe everything out. Up to Yonkers. Yonkers, Joe. Yonkers.
That's bonkers. Sorry.
My God.
Like Neil Simon said, we're lost in Yonkers. 3 people got that joke.
So what is the purpose of this?
Well, I was
PSA?
saying, Mike, before you did it, dial it way back as if it's like, remember, because there's always this threat of like the dirty bomb or a backpack nuke that someone's going to smuggle in from somewhere and
Sure.
set off. So
Okay.
if you dial it back to a really small one, do they have a multiple kiloton yield, not even in megatons?
They got a 15. They got the little boy, the Hiroshima bomb. 15,
Use that one.
15 kiloton, and it still takes out much of downtown New York. And then it's got just the blast damage pretty much takes out half the island. But it's crazy. It's going to be absolutely horrific.
But, I've never seen an online tool so fun because you pick your spot on the map and then you hit detonate.
Yeah, pretty much.
So stupid.
I now know how Joe used to play SimCity.
Yeah.
Pretty much. It's an interesting kind of hypothesis, or at least a thought experiment here. Like, what would you do if one of these bombs went off in your town, and based upon like its yield, and it's like, oh shit, we are really screwed around here. I didn't move far enough out. Like I should have moved an hour and a half north into the west of Columbus. I didn't do that. I'm only 40 to 45 minutes out.
Yeah,
Way up by like Xenia or somewhere?
Yeah, probably like south of
Circleville.
Toledo.
Yeah. Hey, so what's really concerning about this is that this is where the pissing contest gets in it, because everybody wants to save face. So at any point, if anyone whips out the smallest tactical nuke they have, the other person's going to go, oh yeah, and that's we've got a poopy pant retard who people are worried are going to trip over extension cords in the White House. Come on, man. And supplying all this money, like honestly, it's like billions and billions and billions of dollars. Zelensky's saying things like, "Oh, what are you going to do? This ain't enough." Like this is like, honest to goodness. I do have to do the ostrich thing. Obviously, I pay attention, but at the same time, I'm like, I can't control anything, so fuck all. That's why I just don't give a shit anymore.
It's kind of like you just. I don't want to feel this way. You just kind of give up. Like, hey, there's no point in driving now. Hands off the wheel.
And these people are so dumb, though. They're not coming out of this at all. They fucking have the Ukraine flags on their fucking profile pictures still.
Yeah, well, they still love the Ukraine, Joe. They don't care. They just got another. They're asking for another $1.7 billion for their medical staff over there in the Ukraine. That's on top of the billions that they've already got.
It's fungible. It's fungible. It's like, oh, it's for the nurses. It's like, no, it's not. And then like Planned Parenthood, it's not for abortions. No, this money is fungible. You could go to a doctor, an OBGYN. You have to have insurance with Obamacare, or you did anyway. But I mean, come on. Like Planned Parenthood is for like like for breast exams and shit. Bullshit.
Yes.
Actually, I believe that's one thing that Planned Parenthood does not do is they do not perform mammograms.
What about pap smears? Can they put that on a bagel?
I don't think they can do that legally.
Fucking idea.
So I haven't listened to this because, like I said, I've been trying to avoid this. But let's get Kim's take because she's based as shit. I love this girl.
I'll listen to Kim. Let's see what she has to say about this. I do have very concerning AI news from China, but that can wait. I'm always concerned about China.
It's pronounced IE.
Oh. Well, let's see. Here is Kim Iverson.
Well, New York City Emergency Management unveiled a PSA this past Monday on what to do after a nuclear attack. Watch this.
Obviously, we can skip that.
Yeah. I'll skip through this. You get through.
So there's been a nuclear attack.
Okay, well, this is frightening. It's frightening that New York City thinks we're at the point where they need to spend government money on a PSA telling people what to do in the event of a nuclear attack. Now, that being said, this is good information for what to do after an attack has happened. The mantra, get inside, stay tuned, is a good one to remember. That's if you're lucky enough to not be incinerated by the explosive blast or crushed by the shockwaves. So if you do survive, you need to worry about radioactive fallout. And that's why you need to get inside as quickly as possible. But this PSA doesn't tell you a few pretty important things you need to know, like how long are you expected to stay inside sheltering in the basement?
Forever.
The answer could be a month. At minimum, you'll be down there for 24 to 48 hours, but mostly likely longer than that. On top of this, they don't tell you how are you supposed to tune in to any radio or media when you're in a basement with very little reception, and that's if cell towers survived. And where are you supposed to go to the bathroom? And what are you supposed to eat? And how are you supposed to rinse off the debris if you're sheltering like in a crawl space?
Hey, they said shower right away.
FEMA recommends you prepare yourself in advance by doing a few things in addition to what this video has to say. So I have the single most important thing that you should do that neither FEMA nor New York City government tells you, and I will get to that. But let's look at what FEMA says just in case, okay? First of all, you're going to need some water. A gallon of water per person per day for at least 3 days. You're going to need this for drinking and for sanitation. That's how you're going to wash yourself off. If you get yourself into, you need to clean yourself up. That's the way you're going to take a shower potentially.
Joe, you're going to have to wash your feet multiple times. So you're going to need 1 gallon per foot.
They're going to be filthy. I don't.
How much water do you need per day per foot? I mean, that's a lot. You have to hoard water for your feet.
You don't want radioactive feet. That's very.
I'm just going to spit on my feet because the water needs to be in my body.
You just piss on your feet. It's sterile, and then rinse and repeat.
Piss. I'm going to piss on my feet. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Let's see what else. This is good information. She's actually doing a better PSA than New York City.
The actual PSA.
3-day supply of non-perishable food. So you're going to need battery or hand cranked radio. And that's actually how you're going to find out about how long you need to be staying in your basement or crawl space or wherever it is you are in the center of your building. You definitely want to be in a concrete building. Try to stay,
Well, we learned we all will be in the center of the building, shirtless and very well washed with our cell phones in hand. So we're all
and we'll be coming down from our drug highs because we're going to be weaning ourselves cold turkey off.
Yes, we're getting clean, as suggested.
Get clean. Damn it!
With my shirt off,
shoving old women and children out of the way.
Try to be in a commercial building that has concrete, or get to your basement or crawl space or something of that sort. But that's how you're going to hear about updates. You need a hand crank radio or battery operated, but it's better to get a hand crank. You need battery operated flashlights and some extra batteries.
All right.
You need a first aid kit. You need a whistle to signal for help.
No. We don't need a whistle. We have the honk, as people know. We got this. You just walk.
No. That's like 28 days later shit. You're guaranteed to get shot.
Hey.
You're gonna shoot a naked guy walking around in his underwear with the cell phone in hand doing this?
That's the sound after a bomb of a freshly washed and shirtless Fonzie who needs help.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we contradicted her a few times on this.
You need a dust mask, maybe an N95 to help filter contaminated
air. Where do I get a mask?
I know you want to throw away all your masks. I know most of us want to get rid of them, but don't get rid of them just yet because you might need them in case of a nuclear attack.
I got an N2 and an N4. That's all I got.
Around in your emergency kit. You'll need some plastic sheeting and some duct tape potentially to help keep things, keep the wind out of the place and to keep yourself protected. You're going to need some moist towelettes. I thought it was in a crawl space. Where's there wind?
I'm going to make a nice cool cape, like a post-apocalyptic cape, so I can rule the wasteland with.
I'm going to build a couch fort, and this plastic sheet will be my sunroof.
Yeah, that'll work. I like that. It's the best. At least we'll have fun while it all goes to hell.
Garbage bags and plastic ties. That's how you're going to go to the bathroom. That's for your personal sanitation.
What?
That's where you put corpses.
So, I watch a lot of these weird, like, post-apocalyptic movies. One post-apocalyptic movie I saw, they're all trapped in the basement. The bombs are going off, and they were concerned about the bathroom. And so they filled up a paint bucket with kerosene, and they all took turns using that bucket as their toilet because kerosene would help mask the smell, and all your droppings would go to the bottom.
And then they just threw a match at it when they're done.
And then you just torch it when you're done.
I thought you were going to say they were going to go over and huff it to just get high as shit.
Maybe just to forget about everything that's going on. I'd be okay with that.
They need a wrench or pliers to turn off utilities, a can opener for food if your kid.
I'm not concerned about utilities at that point.
Yeah, there aren't utilities. Why am I turning them off?
Don't forget to pay your cable bill.
Call your internet service provider to ask them when they'll restore service. They may give you an estimated time.
Report an outage in your area.
Estimated service time restoration is 5 to 6 years.
Yeah. We'll be there at between 9:30 and noon in 6 years.
Yeah.
It needs it. You're going to need some local maps because you probably won't be able to access them on your phone.
Well, that's a big problem with America is because U.S. Americans don't have maps.
U.S. Americans, I'm going to slap your fucking face. Come on. No, you're right, dude. I've been thinking about this. Like, I think I'm going to have to buy some maps.
Yeah. It's a big problem. So
you guys not have like I bet none of you have like an atlas or maps in your car.
None.
I have maps of Ohio, the Eastern Seaboard, and the United States.
Oh, there you go. And Spain, just in case.
Yeah.
I mean, we get the idea. I want
to continue.
Oh, okay, let's do it.
There's more. We need more.
This is in reference to my maps thing.
Okay. Recent polls have shown a fifth of Americans can't locate the U.S. on a world map. Why do you think this is?
I personally believe that U.S. Americans are unable to do so because some people out there in our nation don't have maps, and I believe that our education, like such as in South Africa and the Iraq, everywhere like such as, and I believe that they should, our education over here in the U.S. should help the U.S. or should help South Africa and should help the Iraq and the Asian countries, so we will be able to build up our future for our children.
Thank you very much.
Wrong.
That was Miss California.
No, it was North Carolina, South Carolina, something.
Oh, but South Carolina, you're right. Oh, we got to finish this with.
I didn't realize you were doing a callback.
It was a callback to like almost 20 years ago.
2005, yeah.
You can try to add to your kit. So those are the things you need. But if you can, try to add to your kit things like prescription medications and glasses, infant formula and diapers if you need.
You know how hard it is to get formula nowadays? We had a formula shortage, and she's asking us to stockpile that?
Does it matter which formula?
Got to fatten up your baby somehow.
Pet formula, pet food and
pet formula. My baby animal farm. How am I going to support this in a nuclear apocalypse?
Well, people do have fur babies these days.
It is true.
They're fucked up. So.
Extra water for your pet. You probably also should gather your important family documents like copies of insurance policies, identification.
Yeah, that's going to pay out after a bomb.
In a waterproof portable container. Also, you'll want some cash or traveler's checks and some change. You want maybe some sleeping bags and blankets and pillows. Complete change of clothing.
Why don't we just take everything that we have? Just grab everything in your immediate vicinity
and put it under a desk.
And shove it under your 1950s school desk. Yeah.
She has not mentioned one weapon yet. Seems to be the first thing you want to do is get water. You want that, and then the second thing is a pistol. Go to your neighbors who have all this stuff and take it.
Yeah. I mentioned this is that I'm looking for a case of like small like pints of bourbon because it's going to be bullets, bourbon, and food are going to be
like little airplane bottles. You want little airplane bottles?
Yeah, I think that's not a bad idea.
No, pints are like they're like whatever what are they like 6 inches tall or something?
Well, you need to fly in first class more often.
I think Joe's right. Like having that little piece of alcohol there for you, just when the times are bad, Grandpa's cough syrup.
And you could trade it. How many people are going to be like, "Fuck this," and they're going to want a bourbon?
Yeah,
but you won't advertise.
Old granddad.
You don't. I asked for a case. I haven't heard back, but I'm trying to get my hands on a case, maybe two. Just because I'm not drinking it, this is for just in case. But for most of the checklist she has, like I'm like, okay, yeah, I've got 60 days of food. I've got probably 60 days of water at this point. none of this is bad information, but you're right.
No.
Guns. Number one, guns. If I can't get it, I'm taking it because that's how the rest of the world is going to look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, she didn't mention that once. But, I don't. She's part of a reputable newscast. I don't think they should recommend guns, like at least according to their probably editors and higher ups. But practically, you're going to need it.
I think she gets to nunchucks at the end.
I hope so. Let's find out.
There's a lot of things you have to assemble, but just in case, you need you're going to need some long sleeve clothes. That's what you'd want if you're dealing with this type of thing. Don't get this short, skimpy stuff. You need the long sleeve clothes because you want to stay protected from.
You're going to need a mankini.
Fallout. You'll also want some bleach. You want a medicine dropper, a fire extinguisher, matches, personal hygiene items, and paper and pencil so that maybe you can leave a note somewhere saying, we're down here.
Cigarettes.
Now, these are the important
and
items
lottery
to assemble
tickets.
in this emergency.
And chewing
really
tobacco.
Good for any type of
and
emergency,
hot pockets.
So it's smart to assemble
and
this
honey buns.
And have them located
and coffee.
already where you think
and
you would
Gatorade.
go. But
and
there's
Coca-Cola.
one thing, the
and
most
aspirin.
important thing
and
we
lighters.
should do to prepare in
and
advance
ice cream.
Of a nuclear
and potato chips.
And that is
and
demand
magazines.
Washington stop provoking war with Russia. This seems to be the easiest thing we could do in advance of a nuclear attack is to not have one in the first place.
It's not going to be Russia, you morons.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that the United States being the only country that has set off a nuke, like I'm more worried about our government. And honestly, if they nuked Washington, D.C., I mean, there's a few folks I would miss. But, for the most part, I think that would actually, it's like removing a cyst.
I don't want this because if any city in the United States got hit, it would be absolute Armageddon. It would be. It would collapse our economy. Shit would just go in lockdown, total police state, and then you got to worry about the exchange if there's going to be exchange. Like here, I am hoping that the UFOs exist, and there's some super secret military U.S. American technology that we have that is able to zap these incoming missiles right out of the sky or intercept them, and that it is no threat whatsoever, and everything is just steady as she goes. All we have to worry about is economic turmoil and not nuclear Armageddon. I hope.
Well, what about all the stories you've had of UFOs visiting missile silos and deactivating
I think
nuclear weapons?
Well, here's the thing about that. We on our side, we heard about the deactivation of the missile silos. Over on the Russian side, they experienced something similar. They were all activated, meaning that they were all put into full readiness mode. It was not done by any of the key turners over there, and it caused panic mode. Ours was shut down. Theirs was started up. Basically, if the stories are true, the UFOs saying, hey, we know what you guys got. We know what you guys are thinking about doing. Just know that we have full control of all your armaments. So stop with the shenanigans. I hope that's true. I hope that they would intervene in some way and don't let us wreck ourselves. Check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Buzz you.
You don't like my lyrics?
Wrong.
All right. So you got another story over there?
I'm done.
Okay. I'll just read down just a quick few headlines. I'm not going to dive into these. These are just a few headlines that I collected over the past week or so. Chinese bank run turns violent after angry mob storms the Bank of China. So that's
good news.
It is. Artificial intelligence to measure loyalty in the Chinese Communist Party. So they're using AI to evaluate people's loyalty. And a few months ago, I read a story that in China, they're also using AI to evaluate people's guilt in their justice system. And it now has become so prevalent. Now, if a judge wants to overturn a ruling, it has to submit its written request to the AI in certain instances.
Give us an email at ourbigdumbmouth@gmail.com. Check out obdmpod.com for all the social media and donation links. Be a part of the magic.